Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. The topic of this talk is a trust deficit between academia, government, and community, with special reference to biorisk management in KP province. It's a critical analysis prepared by Ms. Farzana Nazli, and I have been asked to present it. So the purpose of this talk is to share with you some roles and responsibilities of academia, government, and the community, and then to briefly talk about the barriers responsible for this trust deficit between the three. And in the end, I would like to suggest some possible coordinated action for developing trust among these three domains. So for the success of any initiative or project or program, the relationship among the three is very important, and I would say this is a prerequisite for the success of any task you initiate. This mutual trust provides an environment where ideas are generated, initiatives are taken, and system is established. So due to this mistrust between the three, of course, the benefits of any effort made may be lost or delayed. Let's talk about one by one. This is self-explanatory. Most of you are from academia, and you know what and who is in academia: the educational institution, program, projects, teaching force, research students, laboratory force, and of course institutional leadership. So in academia, particularly the faculty and senior research student should demonstrate the ability to blend theory and practice, and blending arts with humanity, and should approach pluralistically, and should understand the different forms of knowledge. These are very important to generate viable ideas, and then guide and advise the student, guide and advise the government or institutions to serve community. And what they produce and ideas or concept, that should be communicated to the higher education, government institutions, and society or community, and then sit together and design strategies and action plan. So as you see, all those who are employed or they are on job in the basic protective system, also called basic pay scale, and they are a different level from basic pay scale 1 to 22. Most of them on job, and some are hard worker, some are hard worker, and some hardly work. So in this context, I call them people in government. So the government should think and understand the consequences if it neglects academic engagement in their planning or implementation process. Their responsibility is to facilitate academia at appropriate level according to the task under discussion, and then they must make implementable policies in consultation with academia, and the decisions must be made on logical ground about their self-centered ends. And of course, funding is important. Government is responsible to for providing funding to higher education institution, academia. I think this is, just look at the slide, this is self-explanatory, but in this particular context, by community, I mean all those who are not in academic institution or working in basic pay scale. So, but this is very unfortunate that we don't have civic sense, but Community should ensure willingness to support, promote, and facilitate government or academia in any program. For example, in this case, biorisk management programs which have been initiated or are in force in KP and in Pakistan for awareness of common masses, and they should be involved in advocacy, lobbying, or capacity building, and raise awareness regarding these biosafety, biosecurity practices, and they should participate willingly, directly and indirectly if asked for their input in making implementable policies, and they should respect and obey decisions made by the government or academia. So let's talk quickly about the hurdles and obstacles which are responsible for this trust deficit. So on part of academia, there's indiscriminate entry to higher education, where there's a faculty or a research student and they have secured job, and that is why they have no fear of losing their job, and as a result they lack ownership for the tasks, and the leadership is, as you all know, are politically influenced, and the research conducted is for personal gains, and they have limited access to resources. So on part of the government, they do not interact with academia when they plan or implement things, and sort of they exhibit avoiding reactions. So from the thought-based tasks, and of course exercise public power for private gains, and there's an imbalance between revenue and expenditure. So on part of community, there is no unity among different segments of the community, and they depend on government institution for everything, and they develop low confidence, and this is because of the trust deficit between academia and government, because they are never taken into consideration, and of course the lack of urge to strive. They do struggle, but you see they always look for shortcuts. So the current status of BRM in the province has been greatly improved during this pandemic, but it still needs proper attention, and the message has hardly reached private sector institutions and community. So that's the missing link, or the communication gap may risk the success of the program, and it has been observed that the take-home message of these seminars and workshops arranged by academia and government does not reach the community, and the community remains at risk. So what to do then? This is very unfortunate that the role of community and private sector is considered limited. However, they can play an important role, and their potential can be converted into kinetic energy to develop trust and bridge the gap between the two established domains, academia and government. So here you see an incomplete list of possible coordinated actions with the hope to develop trust between the three domains. Number one is the regular formal meetings and follow-ups, where stakeholders share their ideas and knowledge, and talk about the resources allocations. They talk about the funds, how to secure, and mostly from the national and government institutions, and occasionally from internationals, and the famous MOUs, which are usually signed for projecting organizations, so that the contents should be respected, and standards should be set to follow the rule regulations mentioned in the MOU, and the true partnership needs to be developed between the private and public sector, of course with commitment, and well-placed, very important, well-placed monitoring and evaluation system is extremely important, and more importantly is the accountability and transparency, and the punishment and reward policy. The policies framed must be implementable, and must be reviewed during decision making process, and all the stakeholders, government, academia, and community representatives must be involved in all these meetings and processes, and planning must be in such a way to ensure sustainability. Thank you.